Hey, yo, this is Cash on the Hood bonus competitive talking round. This is what happens whenever we have enough time in the studio here at StudioME in East Liberty to be able to just talk amongst ourselves, and we're going to roast one another.
Are you done talking?
So right now I'm Jason Sauer, and I'm with Steven Sickles, my main man. Who else we got?
Jeff Fatty Clark from Columbus, Ohio.
4th place.
Yeah, I got Tixie sitting over here, the never place.
I'll give Tix second.
Wow.
Well, I mean, Steven Sickles, you have to give him the whole title when you talk to him. He's 2021 Point Series champion, Steven Sickles.
I mean, if we're going to go there, I had 17 wins during that point series.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
How many seconds?
I don't know.
I love these socks. Well, the shit is getting thick in
Let me
here
tell you
already.
what,
My
points.
God.
waiting on them Sock'em robots from earlier.
Sowers, how did you win the Mad Dog at River City Rampage? You made like a half a hit.
Oh, it's because I never
I own
left
that car now, so I mean the trunk's still
And
open.
you're going to run it again.
I
How
never-
did that happen?
So it rained all day, and I knew that our main man Toast wanted some action for the crowd that waited for the rain. So, and I knew boss man Josh Decker said, hey, they're going to be running that heat free on the internet, and I want them to say your name as much as possible because Decker wants to compete against Derby Nation.
Right.
So he wanted it. So I'm like, well, I'm going out. This may be my last time in a big car because I'm tired of paying people to build my cars, except for Steven Sickles. Thank you very much. All right. So I wanted to try.
Wait,
so
pay involved?
my inspiration in Demolition Derby is Dane Joseph Clark. Yeah, he's a fan favorite. So what Dane Clark does, he's like, have you ever wanted to drive a car where you never lifted and just shifted?
Yeah.
He's like, don't you want to feel that when you drive all the way through somebody across the track and never lift off the gas? And then till eventually the car like sputters and then put it in reverse. So I was like, let's try it. So it was fun.
Yeah.
So Toast said everyone was ganging up on me at the beginning. He's like, you were just on the gas, but you weren't going anywhere because everybody from Illinois wanted to take out you. And he
Right.
said, so I really managed to only get 2 hits before I folded the front of the car up
So
and broke the
that's
distributor cap.
That's a participation
Yeah.
Mad Dog.
Yep.
That's a sympathy award.
Okay, so
Here you
fast
go.
forward to when Jason shows up at my shop with this car. I take the keys off the column. They were zip tied there, so they couldn't come out of place. And I pop the trunk because he didn't use the back at all. It's
Nope.
still fully functional, lock in out.
That's where I held my spray paint.
When we popped the trunk, what was still in the trunk
What was it? It was like my roof sign.
that you had forgot to put on?
I
at the
never,
Derby,
yeah, I
correct?
did not. I signed
The roof sign
in the
back,
trunk.
in the trunk.
because
and you deserved a Mad Dog.
I blame the officiating because it was. I mean, his roof sign's no slouch either. It's like a 4x4 by quarter
He
inch
might
plate.
be onto something here. Just shove a bunch of roof signs in the back of your car. You
I mean,
know?
River City Rampage is normally where all the non-wire gets shoved everywhere.
Yeah, no, just cram a roof sign in, and that was an oversight, so you should have never even got your stick. So kids, please don't take notice to this, that this is not how you do it.
that was
just
Nick
ironically
King
leave bolted
officiating.
kickers.
So
You want to know the best I've ever seen Tix drive? And the wife swap. He wasn't even driving.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, you didn't see what was going on under the dash as a wife swap, homie. I know. I had zero drive motion.
Oh, yeah. Next time we're
We might want to cut this segment out.
yeah, do a hand check next time. You know what I mean?
My hands are just fine.
But no, that was the best I've ever seen Tix drive. Was in that wife swap. guys.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. That wife swap is something.
Dude,
That's
it's
a riot.
crazy.
That's a riot.
It's crazy.
Y'all don't know what that is. Go look at TrackShotLive. Take a look at it at the throwdown, and you'll see what the wife swap is, man.
Oh God, it's fun. It's
I've
funny.
rode with my old lady, and I don't like doing it, so I could only imagine.
Right. Well, theirs is a little different. Like you have to you have your old lady, but then you draw and you get with somebody
Yeah.
else's old lady.
Yeah, man, you're giving up your old lady to go somewhere else.
That's
It's like
awesome.
You know what I
I'd
thought
want to
was
hit
awesome?
her too. So I mean, it's not.
What I thought was awesome when the wipe swap, and I mean, you don't want to see anyone get injured, but I believe 2 people got injured.
Oh
And then
yeah.
a new couple got formed because they're like, hop in that car.
Right.
But I love the flexibility of that because that just shows they're out there having fun instead
Yeah,
of like.
that's killer. It's
yeah, what's the old switch?
yeah. Oh, that's
But you're absolutely right. It's like in that situation, your ring wouldn't have done shit for you anyways, Fatty.
no, not at all. Sickles, who cares if he's the points champ?
Yeah.
Who cares? But actually, Sickles, if his old lady was in, you're probably winning. Because she can outdrive Sickles 10-1.
Possibly.
I mean, because she'll hit and win. He just wins.
How'd you like to wake up Sunday morning and have her
Easy.
critiquing you on what you did? Now, Steven, I want you to listen here. This is what you did
I
wrong.
guarantee
No. This
Give
is
me
why
your
she's a good
knuckles.
driver, because I've done that to her.
She's getting up in the
man.
morning like, I got to fix you another damn rim. That's what she's saying.
I've
to Steve.
created a monster. I mean, this girl, when I get home and she's bored, she's watching videos of herself run over and over again,
That's
now
awesome.
critiquing it.
That's how you
Really?
get better, man.
Yeah,
That's-
she's
all in.
full-blown.
Yeah, she's a lot better than Steven.
Yeah.
She's definitely.
She's got the wooden ruler sitting there on the table for when he gets out of hand. Give me the knuckles.
So here's
Steven.
a question, Steven. If it ever come down to you and her, do you shut off?
Absolutely not.
She's kicking his ass.
She's
kicking his ass.
That'll be a Sunday morning talk again.
Oh,
I
how
told
funny
you.
would it be if the Will Center come out on Stevens? Like it just timed perfect. That'd be
Ejecto
awesome.
Center, some Inspector
That'd
Gadget
be
stuff.
awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a talk with her.
Yeah.
The first time me and her got to run together, she made a point to just smack me off the rip. So I went back and I gave her one, and she just went the other way. So
It's left to the
I know.
load, huh?
I asserted dominance, and I showed her who's boss.
Is that
Oh,
right?
good for you, buddy.
So now everybody has to understand that she is 3 doors away from here, so she can't hear anything that
Yes.
this boastful SOB is saying
Yeah, and-
with her not here.
Steven's going to pay the editor.
Yeah.
when
guy
this
here
when
some
this
money.
releases,
Oh, I'm texting her right now.
Oh, yeah, that's
get rid of this.
Right.
That's perfect. But no, it's not a lot of people have their old lady in the shop with them. Steven, does it get a little? I mean, you guys are together a lot.
No,
you
no,
know
no.
what
I
mean?
have to boot her ass out sometimes.
Oh, you do? Okay, I see. Because I don't know if I love my wife to death. She's the best woman I've ever met in my life. But I don't think I'd want her in the shop.
No, we'll do
with me.
good. We'll do good. We'll do good. Then we'll get at each other's throat, and I won't see her for a week, which
Right. Well, it makes
everyone
sense.
needs.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes
just
sense.
clean underwear. It sucks wearing dirty underwear
Yeah,
every
the
day.
same socks for 3 days. Some bitches are
I have
standing
to
up the
remind her
corner.
that she does have to do laundry.
Oh.
That's funny. Yeah, right. I see her welding. I know who's doing the laundry. You don't ever
Yeah.
see his TikToks.
I just end up having to buy new clothes sometimes.
Right.
I don't do well with laundry.
I'll tell you a laundry story. My wife will kill me since everybody's woman going to beat the shit out of them later on. I might as well throw mine under
You
the
might as
bus.
well
too,
do it,
you know?
yeah.
It was birthday season, September come around, and I had a monster heap of clothes and everything like that. You know what? I'm going to give her a birthday present for myself. I took all that laundry into the laundromat, and there's a little old lady in there. She folds it,
Really?
the nicest. You pay by the pound, So I brought in like 100 pounds of clothing, and it was like $1.20 a pound. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go find me a little Spanish lady that can cook real good.
Right.
I'm gonna go find me a maid, and I'm gonna take my laundry in there. Babe, I'm sorry, I just don't see the value right now.
Gotta go. I like you're a businessman, Tix. You're a businessman.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm right along with that. For I think last Christmas or Valentine's Day, I bought one of them robotic vacuums.
Yeah, there you go.
Smart minds think alike.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't got to worry about sweeping.
Yeah. You ever seen one of those things run through a pile of dog shit?
No, thank God, because I was scared. One, obviously the cosmetic damage of your house, but then two, that thing was like $700 and some. How do you clean it?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's ways to like do it, but
I'll tell you what, Nate Steele, they bought one and they got dogs. I don't know. They crap the size of elephants out there. I mean, you can get lost in one of their piles of shit in their yard. And one of the dogs crapped in the house and the robot went through it all over Tiff's new carpet. And it was like 4 inches up the wall and everything like that. So sorry to be telling your story, Nate Steele, but man, it's the robot and dog poo poo.
yeah, that can't be a pretty sight.
No, that'd be horrible.
No, thanks.
We're blessed. We our dog's crate trained, so at night he chooses to get in a crate, and we run that vacuum right before we let him out every morning. So
Yeah, good
sort of
idea.
like that vacuum set as an alarm. It goes off at like 6 o'clock or whatever, and then we let the dog out and after the vacuum runs, just in case. But we've
Here,
never had any issues.
I got a question. How many cars do you think you own, Tix, at your house?
I think I'm up to 6.
16,000.
16,000. How many do you think you own, Sickles?
A good bit,
Is it an addiction or is it a passion?
a little bit of both.
I'd say both.
Really?
The best part about it is I can't melt down a Crown Vic on a spoon and put it in a needle.
Good point.
So,
Good
there's a lot
point.
worse things in life that one
Yeah.
could be doing.
Yeah. No. You're exactly right. I just didn't, like me, I have 2 cars at my house. I just never got into just stockpiling them like you guys.
Steven
do.
has a whole neighborhood that he stocks
Steven
his
owns
cars
half
in.
the town he lives in.
Well, that's true.
I was sort of born into that a little bit. My dad had that property and all the cars before me. It just has evolved to my stuff along with his.
Right.
So once I became a certain age and started getting into business, we end up going half on a lot of the stuff. So
Right. Right.
But you know what's really funny though, Steven? So when you were at my house in Minnesota here this fall, you know, it's like as soon as you got there, you were walking around looking at it. I mean, my casa, your casa, it's just open door policy. And it's really cool that, you know, you got one collector to another collector and just kind of seeing the differences.
Oh,
you know, I mean, Steven's got a lot of compacts, got a lot, I mean, you know, and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden you come over and it's like bam, Ford's at Tix's house. You know, it's like you got your 1979 to 2011, and there's, you know, the genre is all there. But it's really neat. And then, you know, Steven and I kind of talked and chattered about things and stuff like that. And and it's just neat seeing another collector.
Well, yeah. From, you know, you live, you know, in Minnesota, you live in that, and I've been to both of them.
Hours.
That's what I was wondering. What was, you know, so.
It's sad though, because that's what our place used to look like with all the GMs. My dad actually quit in 2004, so he sold all that stuff.
Right. Okay, see, so like your old lady could give two shits. She just wants to know where the beer garden's at the Derby.
Oh man.
Okay, so does your old lady just walk out back and be like, "That one's mine"?
I have to keep control of my house.
He said, "I have to keep control of my house."
Yeah.
Oh hell, that's awesome.
There's a time and a place for the stuff I have to try. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand, and she'll.
You ever use her as like a little guinea pig? Try something a little different on hers that you don't try on yours. You're not gonna say. He's like, edit that.
No. I put her in the best equipment that was
I would too,
could.
but I was just like, is there ever a car that you had her run that you never ran before?
Oh,
that
absolutely. So, her first Derby, she ran a all-female class, and 9 out of the 10 drivers had never ran before. So it was like a lot of chaos, a lot of learning from every one of them, and I feel that she didn't get that correct track time. So like, she ended up winning, but
right.
I feel like she didn't get the experience of an actual. It was, and I don't want to take anything away from that Derby, but it wasn't normal or standard in my eyes.
Right.
So the next Derby, there's a bone stock Derby at Washington, PA, coming up like a week later, and that day, one of my customers had acquired a Hyundai. I forget what it was, a Sonata, or a little bit bigger one. I forget which one it is. Sonata. Yeah, Sonata. So I never ran one, but one of my friends used to run one years ago, and he's like, "Oh, they're decent." So we put her in that, and that was the first Hyundai that ever came out of our shop.
Really?
And she ended up winning the Derby. So now she's like, "I'd try another one."
Right.
But yeah, I would have never ran that thing.
That's awesome. So I just wanted to convert
So
her.
she won her
was
first
rough.
Derby
It was
and then
rusty.
won her second Derby?
She won her first Derby, her second Derby, her third Derby. I gave her the sauce, so she didn't get to win.
Right.
Nah, she ended up mechanical failure actually on that one, and then she won her fourth and fifth Derby, and that's where she's at.
You notice the one that she had a mechanical failure with, that was the one that he was out there with,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
that
imagine
spineless
that.
little, you know,
Yeah.
he could have taken the loss.
You're just a poor loser, Steve.
Background: it was a very, very rainy night in Stoneboro, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And
She's won 4 out of 5 Derbies.
That's the
She's
night the
only
lights went out in
she's only derbied
Stoneboro.
5 times. 4 of them?
4 out of 5 she's won.
That's
But
incredible.
That night I forgot to just mention to her that she didn't turn on her fan switch.
Oh. I've done that on my training cooler. Like, I have a light on mine that our training, Paul Inky, builds me. And he's like, "Listen, dumbass, if the light's not on, the cooler's not on." I don't know how many. So now he built me one this winter. It's got 2 freaking lights on it.
It's like hooked on phonics for fatty.
Oh, it's bad, dude. I do it all the time. And then he always asks me too. He's like, "I didn't see your light on." I was like, "I didn't turn it on, Paul." You know? And he was like, "You son of a bitch." He said, "Our trainings are good, but you got to try to help them a little bit."
Yeah, give it a little bit of assistance.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the worst tranny fan experience ever. Mine was on working just fine until you stick your goddamn fingers through it.
Oh God, I always wondered.
I thought I was gonna lose my fingertips. I wear gloves. I mean, these hands are, you know, I keep them soft for myself.
Right.
You know, so
And me.
I stuck my hand down through that fan, and I had the fan up on the top side. I run it.
You had it laying down.
Yes.
Yeah.
God dang it! I missed my ratchet strap to turn around back, so I kind of fell down. And I put my hand down. I was like, whack, 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 whack.
Oh,
Like,
I always wondered if that happened.
oh,
You know?
yeah, no, it's pure dumbass.
Yeah.
So now you know where my fan is? On the bottom side.
On the bottom side.
Just reverse that thing, make the fan go the other direction. Just push that heat up in the air.
Yeah, so when you fall through, you accidentally puncture your.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, God.
I mean, you say that about, injuries like that. I watched a guy at the bash one year. He went to get out of his car. He was so pissed. He reached right out, put his steering wheel down, reached right out and grabbed that header.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh,
I've seen that, and I've almost done it. And I caught myself.
Yeah, dude, he had a perfect circle right here. I bet he still got it to this day.
Oh, I believe that.
That's wild.
I'll never forget. I seen one of the headers up. I was up north, a rainy ass day, and just greasy as hell. That header started melting and it started folding back towards the driver,
No
blowing
shit.
flames. And that guy was not letting off. He wasn't done.
Right.
And that flame's coming closer and closer and closer, and that header's just collapsing. I've never seen one actually collapse.
That's crazy. I've never
and
seen
come
that.
back. I think the hood might have had some pressure on it a tiny little bit, but next thing them flames are laying back at him. It's like, I'm a stupid SOB, but I know when enough is enough. It's like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
Either that or a hot dog. And somebody throw me a wiener.
I'm good on that. That's the biggest.
You can cut that out later. Somebody throw me.
Yeah.
So maybe it isn't just them guys' ego when they run the headers like up over past the roof.
Yeah, maybe that's
I just
what
thought
it
they
is.
had something to
It's
prove.
got a melting
Maybe they're-
pressure point to it or something for sure.
They just are preparing for when it's folded back. That way it still blows over the roof.
Yeah.
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 Then
I
it
like
becomes a
that.
kicker. Maybe they're really on to
Jeez,
something.
yeah.
Maybe
there you
they
go.
are onto something.
Yeah.
Roof
I know
signs
I'm
and
onto
trunks,
something.
tall headers.
What are you on to?
I'm
Tix?
onto something. I want to talk about Jason and Sandy Tracks. The first 2 times I seen that man derby,
I got stuck. I don't know how to drive. All right, I drive like I'm from Stoneboro,
Were those both in
Pennsylvania.
Florida?
yo, yes.
Okay, that
Hold
doesn't
on,
count.
Sowers, you've been getting your ass kicked by the Smith guy for how long? And you just never learned how not to get. Was that your way out? I'm going to get stuck, so Casey will stop it.
He wanted to preserve his
Is
car.
that what it was?
I want to have enough car for next year.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm
I'll
frugal.
Well, just have
But
me
that
a
was back-to-back
Sickles
years, so you're trying to
I
go
did-
for the third year on that
I did
car?
3 straight years of getting stuck for Iron City National or Southern Nationals. 3 straight years.
Same
At
spot?
that point, you can't break the streak.
How far was you from the same spot, Sour?
Well, the problem is I don't know. I just once I just go. I just want to like. It was the biggest car I've ever owned,
there
so
for a
I
good
was like,
time,
I
not for a
just
long
want to
time.
drive it into people as
Right.
hard and as fast as this thing will go. But it turns out in sand, you just can't stand on it.
Yeah.
He scared the shit out of the sand. I'll tell you what, that sand was feared underneath his
Was it?
tires.
It was about 4 seconds I lasted. So all that effort and all that money I spent, I got about 4 seconds of derby.
So have you ever calculated out what a second costs you in Florida having fun?
It's about $11,000 a second.
And this is where we this is where we bring Nana into the situation.
Yeah.
She has calculated that out.
I actually have it on a depreciation schedule and
Oh,
tax
yeah.
evaluation.
That's
and
funny.
I broke the block on the red line.
Why we shouldn't go back to Florida ever again in a derby
How
car.
the hell did you break the block on the red line stuck in the sand?
I think my partner tried to get me knocked out.
Oh.
Friendly fire.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you one thing. I watched the partner try once, knowing how buried he was very smart. He says, "You're on your own.
You're on
peace,
your
homie."
own, homie. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that cars did that. I didn't know anything about suspensions that don't move, go into the sand. I don't know anything about that.
What year?
I'm used to Stoneboro and a Dodge Diplomat. I just stand on it. And
When
go.
did you run your first Derby, Sour?
1992.
92. That's way before
The year
me,
I was
bro.
born.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I didn't
a
run
little bit-
mine until July 4th, 1997 is when I ran my first one.
I was 94. 94.
Were you spring or fall stone, bro? Or
Fall.
during the
It's Labor Day weekend
I
at
was-
Stoneboro. So I ran 26 straight years at Stoneboro with Randy Brazel. We went back to back, and then 1 year I had shoulder surgery, so we no longer have. So Randy's at 30 years now, straight, unmissed, every time in Stoneboro. So, but what has allowed me is now I can go do stuff and not have to worry about the streak anymore. So thank you, Randy, for winning the streak. So no matter where I was in the world, I would fly home and spend a week building a car. But I don't build a car, so I've been building a most wanted find out car since I've been 17 years old.
Right.
I haven't touched a
Running
welder
against
since
Casey
I
and
was
them guys.
17. I run the tires that came with it since I was 17. I just don't care.
Right,
I
right.
really just am there because I think it's fun and it's a blast, right? So we're running the Most Wanted class on Sunday this year. Frankie Guy is going to let us do it there at the Great Stoneboro Fair.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great
plus
facility,
July 1st,
too.
we're going to run it with Iron City Nationals there.
But moral of the story is it doesn't matter what car you're running, you can still get stuck in the sand.
Yeah, I will fail. If there's a way to fail, I'll do it. I collect my failures.
So since I know Stoneboro so well, how many times did you end up stuck right along the stage side in the 30 years?
Not much. I'm usually in the middle of mechanical failure. I never
Okay.
lost because of the blocks.
No. So like, it ends up getting rutted out right in
Mhm.
front of that, where everyone stands there,
Yeah.
and that's normally where I've seen a lot of cars sort of.
No, I ran the same spot every time. I would keep the nose of the car at the entrance, because they always kept it open. So I would always pull to where the entrance where there was
So
an
you had
open
some
spot.
strategy.
So that was my strategy, was let just Fredonia Tire and Casey just run me right out of the stadium, and then I'd slowly back into the stadium.
Was that to preserve the car or to try and win the show?
I knew I would never win. That
Okay.
was
Have you
just so
ever
I
won,
could survive.
Sowers?
I won one time ever, and they had to cheat for me to do it.
Really?
I won.
Well, you
I
don't
won.
tell them that.
I won.
Sal.
I
You
won
just say,
best
"I'm
of paint, and because I won best of paint, I had a minute and a half where I sat outside. That was Steven Sickles built me my only win van. Thank you,
You
Steven.
mean you sat for that long in that derby?
I had to sit outside, remember, and then it was like a TJ thing where people just keep coming in like every 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I was
okay.
the last
Yeah.
van in, and by that time most people were already knocked out. So I only had to beat like a Dodge Durango and a minivan.
Okay, but
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, with that being said, you've been running since 92, you said. What kept you going back, Sour? Like me, I won the very first derby I ever ran.
Wow.
Yeah, but my dad, I had a 75 Chevy wagon, 350 Chevy. I had the best of the best. I don't know if
So basically, what Fatty's saying is he's a spoiled, rotten little punk-nosed kid that everybody hates. That's basically, so you just heard it. Fatty said it himself.
yeah, well, everybody hated
I got
Fatty.
stuck with an '83 Buick Skylark.
Hell, Fatty was driving 71, 2, and 3 Kingswoods in high school. I had a baby blue one with white walls, and it was gangster. It was a 72. It was my favorite car ever.
See, I drove a round back in high school. I bought my round back.
Nah, Daddy
I
gave
built
me,
my round back.
Nah, Dad gave me
yeah,
mine.
see,
Yeah,
your
Dad.
dad should have laid you over his knee and whoop your ass a couple more
He should have.
times.
He should have.
Nice.
Yeah, I drove a 76 Pontiac. I got stuck in a snowdrift. I went straight to the house and put 715s on the back of that son of a bitch. You drive it in the back, there's no insulation back in the back of them wagons. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. If you wasn't driving, you were sleeping in the son of a bitch because them tires just put you right to sleep. Yeah.
That's sweet.
See, I might have been a little spoiled back then.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
great. It was great. I was like, I know that all the older guys hated me because I'd drive them to Derby. 17-year-old kid pulling in with a 72 Chevy wagon that you could eat off of. I never could figure out nobody wanted to talk to me. Yeah.
Not much has changed.
There's the roast segment we're
I
getting
guess it's
into.
just with who you surround yourself with. So, that's awesome.
I'll tell you guys a story about somebody not wanting to talk to me. So you guys have all met Bruce Lapine, BJ,
Yeah.
Nader's dad.
Yeah, old BJ.
So BJ was he was one of the ones in our area. He was the one to beat. And he hated me because I had pretty nice clean cars because my grandfather would, bring me cars back from down south, but I had to pay for the road travel up and everything. And, it was, so I had decent cars, and BJ just hated me because I wore earrings.
Really?
Wow.
But now my mom derbied, and BJ would protect my mom on that track,
Right.
but he would have no problem tearing the living hell out of me. And you understand, I moved next to BJ, 21, 22 years ago. As a crow flies, you go across a couple fields, I'm in BJ's backyard.
Right.
I mean, it's only a one beer travel in the side by side,
Right.
and I'm at BJ's house. And but yeah, it's going on probably 16, 17 years now that we become best friends, because as I moved out to where I live now, I had a row of Imperial 67 and 68s along the wood line, and I think I had like 10 or 12 of them. And Jimmy Morrison, his best friend, goes, "Hey, you see that guy that's got all those Imperials over there on 170th?" He said, "No, there ain't nobody over there that's got Imperials." All of a sudden, he drove by. Jimmy Morrison tells BJ after we started hanging out, "Tix, you may be a decent person, but I still think you're the dumbest son of a bitch I've ever met. I love you, Jimmy. Thanks, buddy. And now here it is. I married his wife, Jimmy and Patty. I married them, and you know, it's like we're best of friends now. But I was the dumbest son of a bitch they ever met.
Did you ever run against your mom, Tix?
I did.
It come down. I ran against my mom. It come down to first and second with us, and she drove flat through me. Like, my dad had to run out on the track and tell her to slow down because he was only allowed to weld a bar behind the seat, and she was pushing that son of a bitch out the driver's side. I was in a 76 two-doors, Olds 88. She was in a 76 Pontiac wagon. She drove through me.
Now, you understand, I don't think y'all got to meet my mom because she was busy that weekend. She was kind of in and out. My mom don't go 5 foot tall, and she don't go 100 pounds.
Right.
And that woman rode on the back of a rigid chopper Harley to Sturgis for about 7 years in a row behind my father. You know, my dad was the Marlboro man, just didn't smoke Marlboros. But I mean, you know, he's 65 years old, I think he is. He still wears a Harley chain wallet. He's still got longer hair.
Awesome.
He is the Marlboro man. And my mom, she rode on the back of that. But mom, she rode Harley. I can't remember how old I was when she got her own. She always had her own bike, but she never had a Harley. And then she got her first Sporty. And so mom, she drives 18-wheeler. She rides Harley Davidson. She run derby cars. Shit. And she's a little peanut of a woman. I mean, she ain't got much there. But it come down to her and I. Well, actually, we had my brother and I and her out on the track at the same time. We all made the feature at our hometown track. And they were teaming up on my mom pretty hard, and it was like my hands were full. BJ was out there doing the damage, protecting my mom, and we were junking people. And all of a sudden, she was in a New Yorker shocker. I was in a Bird, and my 67 started snooting up a little bit, and it was like at the rollover stage. It's like it didn't matter what it was grabbing a hold of; it was putting them on their lid.
Right.
I put like 4 people on their lid, and they kept putting them over, and it's just like we just kept junking shit. And next thing you know, it come down to BJ and my mom and I, and like mom wasn't going after BJ because BJ was always good to her, you know.
Right.
So it's like she had a pretty big toss up, her oldest or the guy that protected her on the track, you know. I don't know where the story went from there because it was kind of a blackout stage. BJ come around and 45 me and knocked the shit out of my melon, you know. It's like awesome. I'm picking up my marbles. I was digging through the firewall looking for that last marble that was going to make sense to me.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
You ever race against your dad or with your dad?
No, I wasn't able to. He has something that he had a tumor in his chest that they had to remove, and they took out a few of his rib cages, pieces of them, so I didn't get to, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't ever got to run against my dad either.
I always wanted to, but
yeah, 98 he was in a bad accident and got his leg amputated, so he tells me all the time, he said, son, you wouldn't make a good pimple on a good derby driver's ass. That's what he tells me all the time. I'm like, are you serious?
We didn't like Fayette County very much, but he was in the GMs and pretty good one around locally, but then we never got to travel outside. I wish he would have got into it enough to see if he would have been competitive on a higher level.
Right.
My dad sits there and he talks about it. You know, my dad done it a couple times, and you know, it's a waste of money. You know, my dad's an investor. He's a saver. He's, you know, it's go buy a fish boat or something like that. That's not a waste of money, but you know, you take that car out and you just go wreck it. You know, it's like you know that motor you just built right there. There's 80 rod guys that would just love to put that in their street rod, and it's 100 times better than they got. And I said, well, they're doing something wrong, Dad.
Right.
You know, it's like it's like I could have. You know, you never had to pick me up from prison, you never had to pick me up from jail. You never had to say hi to me through a glass at prison. You know, there's a lot worse things that one could be doing in a situation of life.
Yes, sir.
That's a great point to end on there, Michael. So check it out. That was our bonus round of competitive talking. That was pretty rad. So thanks, everybody, coming all the way out to StudioME.
I won the ring before Sickles.
Still came in fourth in competitive talking.
I won the Mad Dog at the Reaper.
Salute our man Gerardo in Mexico. Brian Cottington behind the decks up there with the Cinema Psychos podcast. Mike Tix flying in all the way in from the Minnesota. Thank you, Michael Tix. Fatty, thank you for driving from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes,
Stephen
sir.
from Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I'm Jason Sauer, your host of Cash on the Hood, and I really appreciate if you all could like, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. Let people know this is your thing and you like us.
Just remember that neighbor down the road you don't like, they might like us. Let them know about Cash on the Hood.